Yeah. What it do? What it do? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. Yeah, what's happening with it? When y'all come in the building, make sure that y'all don't forget to hit that like button. Smash on that like button. One time for the one time. Mac of Dose, Mac of the South. What's happening with it? My man Dwayne Freeman in the building. What's good with it? Seattle Boxing Talk is in the building. What's happening with it? Mr. Mechanical, what's happening with it? TJ Jones, what's good? Yeah. Hustler's Homes, what's happening with it? Anthony Johnson, what's good with it? Todd Swindle, what it do? What it do? Yeah. AJ64, what's happening with it? Yeah, we in here. It's gonna be a whole lot of cooking going on today. So make sure that y'all hit the like button. Yeah. Nitty G, what's good with it? Who Israel, what's happening with it? Yeah, like I said, as y'all come in the building, smash on the like button and jump in the comments. Let me know you're in the building. And we, I might open up the phone lines today. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. Before we get to cooking, I'm going to open up the phone lines for y'all today. That way, if you got anything to get off your chest, call in and we can cook on anything that, that you want to get off your chest concerning boxing. Any news you didn't heard, anything that you want to get off your chest, I'm going to put the number up and we're going to talk about it before we, before we get into the main topic, that nigga with the shag. Hold on. Let me get this number up for y'all. There it is. So for everybody that's been talking about, am I going to do a call-in show? This your chance now to call in. Whatever you got on your chest, we can talk about it. What it do? Mike Rhyme in the building. What's happening with it? Yeah, so whatever you got on your mind, news that's out here, whatever, we can talk about it before we even get into the show. What I tell y'all, I've been saying that shit for 2 years, but we gonna cook on that, who Israel. I told y'all he was coming back. Y'all see the shag. I ain't calling myself psychic, but I told y'all. Yeah, and we gonna really cook on that. But like I said, the phone lines is up. So if you want to call in and you want to talk about something, here's your chance. A lot of people been asking me lately when I'm gonna do a call-in show so you can cook. Well, the phone lines is up. What's happening with it, Mr. Steal Your Chin? What's good with it? Outside the Box Media, there you go. TJ Jones, what's happening with it? What it do? A lot of shit going on. A lot of news going on in boxing. Like I said, I'm trying to give y'all a chance. If you want to call in and get something off your chest before I take this call-in number down, this your chance. Here we go. 936, what's happening with it? Let me know where you're calling from.
What's up, Keith? This Who Is Real, man. I'm calling out of Houston, bro.
What's happening with it?
Say, bro, hey, that nigga with the Shag is back. But what I wanted to call about is big props to that boy, Gary Antoine Russell. He handled his business. He stopped Poster, like you said. It was a big stop. It was a big fight. It was a big win for him. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he don't get shafted on the back end and they bring him on in, man, and give him these big fights because now he deserves it. So other than that, big up to the chat, big up to the show, much love, Key. I'm listening.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you. Who is real in the building already? Yes, sir. Yeah. Gary Antoine Russell, that boy is a star. He a superstar. You know what I'm talking about? He don't talk a lot, but when he do talk, he make that shit make sense. You know what I'm saying? He don't just be running at the mouth, wasting words. When he do talk, you gonna listen, cause he gonna make it make sense. He talking about something when he do open up his mouth and talk. And in the ring, he on another level. So it's up to the PBC to build a star to him. They see that he ain't flashy. He don't like to be in front of the camera. He ain't that dude that you gonna see out at the club with the motherfucking rappers and shit. But he got all the ability in the world inside the ring. When he do talk, he is a big speaker. So I mean, it's up to the PBC. It's up to Al Heyman and you know the people that run the PBC to make a star out of him. They can do it if they want to. But see, the question is do they want to? Do they want to make a star out of Mr. Gary Russell, Antoine Russell? That is. John Kramer, what's happening with it? Salute. Macados, Mac of the South in the building. What it do? Excuse me. So yeah. This tomato juice, y'all. So this ain't shit but little 5%. I ain't no drinker like that. I don't really drink, but I like this tomato juice Bud Light. It's cool. But yeah, it's up to them to make him a star, you know? For real. That's what it's all about. Because see, they have the power to put him on the shelf and let him fight once a year, what they starting to do, or they have the power to make him a superstar. Put him out there. Let everybody continue to see him while his name is still circulating in the boxing world. But if you don't, if you put the man on the shelf and we don't see him for another 8 months, another year, well, now the boxing world ain't forgot about him. So that's just what it's all about. It's just kind of like the music industry when you know what I'm saying? You got a whole lot of artists in the music industry. Now it's different because, you know what I'm saying, we got all these social media platforms. We got Instagram. We got, you know, the streaming. So these music artists, they can make, you know what I'm saying, they can make bread without the big industries. But back in the day, you know, you had a lot of artists that shit was way better than the mainstream artists that was out. But, you know, the record labels and whatnot, they wouldn't put them out there for you to know who they was. So if they're not in front of your face, if they're not out there so you can see them, right, in their profession, how you blow up, how you get big like that. It's the same way in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way in boxing. World Combat Sports, what's happening with it? The Queen Cassandra Mason in the building. We got CB Sports TV in the building. What's happening with it, CB? We got my man DP Rocker in the building. What it do? Nitty G off in this thing. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. But like I said, the call-in number is right there on the screen. Before we get to cooking, if you want to call in, if you got anything on your mind that you want to get off, that you want to get off your chest, if you want to cook about anything before we get the main topics in, go ahead and cook. It's open. The number right there on the screen. Feel free to call in. Justin Barrera, 210, what's happening with it? Marvin Banks, what it do? Don Shot of 24, what's happening with it? Yeah, so man, I heard my man KQKC cooking, and he was cooking on how basically, the Klitschko brothers then came out and they talking, they're against Bivol and Canelo Alvarez. They telling everybody over there in Russia, over there in the Ukraine, and they saying, boycott that Canelo Alvarez and Dmitry Bivol fight. Because, see, Dmitry Bivol, he like, shit, fuck what y'all doing. I'm trying to get this Canelo bag. I don't give a fuck what's going on with my family over there. I'm trying to get this Canelo money. And so they like, man, fuck him. Let's boycott the Canelo fight. Let's make them lose a whole lot of money. And see, what's going to happen is the reason why a lot of these fighters that fight over here in the U.S., the reason why we see them pick these foreign fighters, because they get that foreign pay-per-view money. They get that foreign money. What's happening with it? Let me finish this point, and I'm gonna let you cook right now. So, like I said, the reason that you see these fighters, they picking these Europeans and all of that, is because that foreign pay-per-view money is big money. Now, if they boycott that Canelo Alvarez fight, that's gonna be big. That's gonna be big, and it's gonna really take a hit on what Dmitry Bivol is getting paid. Cause see, he looking to get paid from the foreign money that he getting from Europe and over there. That shit gonna fuck him up. So he ain't gonna get the bag that he think he gonna get. So yeah, man, and I don't blame him. I hope they boycott the shit out of their ass. But what's happening with it, man? 513. State your name. Where you calling from?
Yeah, this court from outside the box, Cincinnati.
What's happening with it? What it do outside the box?
Oh, nothing much, man. I had to give you your flyers, man. I just want you to take a second and tell the people how much work you put in, how hard it is to stay consistent. Yeah, I mean, in this business, man.
Man, they think this shit easy, bro. Man, I appreciate you, man. They think this shit easy. This shit ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Fact.
I could be doing a million other things, but I'm right here with y'all. It ain't easy at all.
Gotta appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you though, you think Bivol gonna face any type of backlash for him from his own country? Because he's Russian. They prideful people. You leaving a war to fight, yeah, I mean, to pursue your career, that can be looked at from two flips of the coin.
Man, hell yeah, he gonna take a lot of backlash, bro. And the thing is like, if he go ahead with this fight and say, fuck it, I'm fighting, you feel me, man, yeah. Bro, if he do that, he probably ain't gonna be able to go back over there.
That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, I mean, he kind of made the decision right now where he said, as far as the grounds of the war, but you never know what type of decisions he had closed doors prior to him making this decision too.
Right.
But go ahead and cook, bro. We get back to it.
Already. Appreciate you. Yeah, but so the thing is, if he, he go through this fight, he might not be able to go back over there. And another thing with it is like, man, I don't know. Like, they don't know how bad this shit gonna get. It might get a lot worse, and it's subject to get a lot worse than what it is right now. So it get a lot worse. Then, come May, we don't know how bad this shit gonna be come May. Hey, it'd be funny if something happened, right? Now I'm not saying nothing bad to Bivol or anything, but it'll be funny if something happened and then that motherfucking fight don't take place. You feel me? The fight don't take place, and then Canelo have to fuck around and look for another opponent or something. Hey, you don't know. You never know with how that shit going down right now. Yes, sir. Thank Father, what's happening with it? Flawless Mentality, BE, hosted by Dr. Mark Stearns. The OG is in the building. Salute to the OG. And make sure that y'all go sub to Flawless Mentality and BE, hosted by Dr. Mark Stearns. But, hey, you know, Bivol gonna have to handle that shit. That's on him. He don't want to be rushing now, do he? You know what I'm saying? He don't want to be rushing now. But hey, it is what it is. I can't really say too much about it because I know one thing. If that shit broke out over here like that, I ain't got nothing to do with it. For I'm going to Africa. Y'all motherfuckers said this ain't my country and told me to get out anyway. I ain't fighting for these motherfucking white folks. I'll tell you that. For real. Some shit broke out over here. I'm getting all my people and I'm trying to go to Africa. Fuck all that. What's happening with it? 305. Where you calling from? What's your name?
What's going on? It's boy outside out here in Miami, man.
Hold on, man. Let me turn you up a little bit. Say that again.
It's your boy outside, man, out here in the 305, man.
What's happening with it? Dundada in the building. What's happening with it? The infamous Dundada.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Head home from work. Got a quick question for you, man. What you think gonna happen with the heavyweight division now that Usyk, fight, out there in the war and shit, man? You think he's gonna drop the belt?
Man, that's a good question, bro. Cause like I said, we don't know. We don't know how bad this shit gonna get. You feel me? So I mean, shit, bro. If this shit turn into a world war or some shit like that, man, his career could be over. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how bad this shit gonna get. We don't know what's gonna go down. From what I'm hearing, they on the front lines. You feel me?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So with that being said, I mean, man, that's a good question. Is they gonna strip him of the belts? Is he gonna relinquish his titles? Bro, that's a good question you brought up because I don't know. But Anthony Joshua, it's like now he got to look at other opponents to fight. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And Wilder, I know Wilder. See, I would say Wilder, right? I would say Wilder need to come back. I would say that, but I'm not gonna say Wilder now because I'm sticking to what I always believed in. If you got one foot in the ring and the other one out the ring, you don't need to be getting in there with nobody, right? Because you fuck around and you'll get hurt by Anthony Joshua because you're not in it like that. You know what I'm saying? Your head ain't in it. If you like, man, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and retire. I don't know. And then you like, I got this Anthony Joshua fight. I'm gonna just hold off on retiring. And you can't go in there like that. You feel what I'm saying? And Anthony Joshua. He ain't no pushover. You know what I'm saying? You fucking around and this is boxing. This is not, you don't play boxing and you'll get hurt. So I would just advise Deontay Wilder, to go on retire. Just going on retire because if you got that in your head already, it's dangerous to be, have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But I don't know.
You know what? I don't think you really want to retire though. I never forgot the goal of one face, one name, you know what I'm saying? And that to me, he's still, part of me still feel like he really want to go for undisputed. He's got to work it out in his head. Now, this may seem controversial, but I know Malik is a good fit for him. And I like Malik, but I think maybe Deontay needs a more experienced trainer after watching him in the the third Fury fight. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I I was doing a lot of thinking about it this week, man. And when he lost that fight, man, my feelings were hurt, man. I really wanted my boy to win.
Nah, man, I feel what you saying. You know what I'm saying? You got a good point. But at the end of the day, when you start talking about retiring, 9 times out of 10, the results never end well. They never end well. It's very rare. Everybody ain't a Floyd Mayweather. You feel me? Floyd Mayweather, he went out, you know, how he wanted to go out. You know what I'm saying? He still was sharper than everybody else. But when 9 times out of 10, when these fighters start talking about retiring, and they like, well, I'm gonna come back for one more fight, you know, that shit don't end well, dog. It never do.
You're right.
Yeah. So like I said, you know, man, I'm a huge. That's my favorite fighter. Wilder, my favorite fighter. And any fighter, dog, I would not advise them if they thinking about retiring. Go ahead and retire, bro. You feel me? Just go ahead and retire. Once it get to that point to where you like, man, I don't know if I want to do this shit no more. You need to retire, because in boxing, to be at your best, to be at that elite, the highest level, bro, you need to have that hunger. You know what I'm saying? You need to have that hunger.
Yeah.
And as far as him needing a different trainer, I don't think you need a different trainer, because I watch Malik Scott training, and I watch him very closely, and he's very detailed, and you know what I'm saying, he's a real good teacher. But the thing is that it ain't on Malik Scott. Malik Scott, he only can, you know what I'm saying, give you the game plan and on what to do. He can't get in the ring and make you do it. So with Wilder, he was doing what Malik Scott told him to do for the first, you know, maybe 2 rounds, and then he stopped. He stopped and he went back to, you know, I think the one big thing is he just got stupid dead tired. And then when he got dead tired, and that happened early. You feel me? It happened when after he got caught behind the ear, it knocked off his equilibrium. He got dead tired, and then when you get tired like that, bro, you gonna revert back to what you know best. You dig what I'm saying? You're gonna go back to in any sport, it don't matter what you're doing. When you get tired like that, you're gonna revert back to what you know best.
Yeah, you're right. I got another question. How you see Spence and Ugas playing out, man?
Oh man, we gonna I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for later on, because when we get into that main topic, because I want to cook on that.
I feel you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for having me on, man.
Already, no doubt.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. That was the infamous Dundada. I see y'all be going back and forth with Dundada all the time. Dundada know it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit up here and act like that. Dundada don't know his shit. He know boxing. Now, we ain't gonna agree with everything he say, but he know boxing. You know what I'm saying? He know what be going on. He ain't no casual. He just got a different, you know, view a lot of times than we may have. But he know his shit. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Got another caller. Let me see. 816 in the building.
KP from KC. What's up, Keon?
What it do, KP?
Nothing much, man. What's the rundown? What we talking about?
Man, the rundown is anything that you want to get off your chest. If you got some news in boxing you want to cook on, you know, whatever. I'm just opening up the phone line before we really get to the main topics.
Man, I heard him talk about water. Like he was saying, bro, once they start talking it, it's kind of like you speaking it into existence. So you kind of got to just let it ride out, bro. It's done, man. It's pretty much done. Wilder gave us everything he got, bro. He didn't leave nothing on the table. Bro. He fought a guy 3 times, and also allegedly the second time he was, you know, cheated, and then the third time he went out on a shield.
Yeah.
There's nothing more you can ask from that guy.
My bad, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off. My bad. I thought that was done data, y'all. Everybody on here, I thought that was done shot of 24. The whole time I thought that was done data. Hey, cause I know Dun Dada, he Hispanic, and I said the whole time I'm talking, I said, man, it sounds like a nigga. It sounds like a black man right here. You know what I'm saying? So that was done shot of y'all. My bad. But go ahead, KP.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Keon?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. Wilder gave us everything he got, bro. I don't want to see Wilder not being able to talk later on, sounding like James Toney and Holyfield, and nah, man. He gave us everything he got, bro. There was a time where those guys didn't fight him, and they waited him out, and he gave us the fights that he gave us, man. That dude is a warrior. It's nothing else he needs to show to me.
Right. I feel the same way.
It's basically like asking them to do more. You know what I mean? Like everybody else will basically be catching him after he went through all his wars.
Right. And it seems like, man, he got kind of like, I don't know what to call it, but I'm gonna just say a soft spot. Saying like he got a soft spot behind that, you know what I'm saying, that behind that ear right there. You know,
they changed him, man. That fight changed him, man.
It do something to him to where once he get hit right there, it's like it instantly cuts off his equilibrium and he's just a different fighter. You know, so bro, I mean, it happens. These are heavyweight fighters. We look at heavyweights, you know what I'm saying, that I watch coming up. With a lot of these heavyweights I watch coming up, and one of them, Reddick Bowe. Look at Reddick Bowe. He can't even talk right now. He can't. You don't know shit. If Reddick Bowe have a conversation with you, you don't know shit he's saying. So with that being said, we don't want to see Deontay Wilder like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody motherfucking invincible. Ain't that nigga invincible. Real talk. Ain't nobody invincible.
No. And look, Keon. He fought a dude that's almost 300 pounds. 3 times.
Right.
Like, nah, bro.
Tell
me who we asking that of. Tell me who else are we asking
right.
in the ring with somebody 50 pounds bigger than them 3 times. Tell me what other heavyweight they asking it.
Right. You don't see it. Even back with all the wars that Muhammad Ali went through and he fought the best, it wasn't that big a size advantage. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody have nowhere near a size advantage on him like that, because back then all the heavyweights was pretty much around the same size. You know what I'm saying?
That's like asking light heavyweight Roy Jones to fight Tyson or Holyfield 3 times.
Right. Yeah. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Because height-wise, they pretty much similar.
Right.
But weight, they not.
Right. So I mean,
that's how I see it, man. I think the Spence Ugas fight gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a pretty close fight. We'll see what happens when it happens, man. But I'm gonna listen in, bro. Already.
So I'm gonna cut the phone. That's the last call I'm gonna do, and we're gonna go ahead and get to cooking. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to cooking. Before we get to cooking, y'all, I said I wasn't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I can't help myself. Y'all hit my like button. Let me check the likes. Let me check the likes. Let me check where the likes is at, because we finna get to cooking right now. And I got a problem with some shit. And I said I was gonna talk about it, but I wanna cook on it for a minute. We ain't gonna stick on the subject, but I want to say something about this shit for a minute. And y'all get the likes up. Y'all get the likes up. You know what I'm saying? Get the likes up. So, is the likes up? Get the likes up. Zenith 360, what's happening with it? Salute. Now, I got a problem with this, right? And I promise you, I said I was going to talk about Canelo, but let me touch on this shit for a second. Let me touch on it just for a quick second, y'all, because I didn't got into it with 817. I didn't got into it with Zenith 360. I didn't got into it with a lot of cats at times defending Canelo, right? Me and KQKC didn't went back and forth. I didn't got into it with a lot of my people on here, J.A. Dixon, for defending Canelo, right? Because I'm like, nah, you know, this, and that. But Canelo he proven a lot of the shit that y'all been saying. Now, he have fought people. He got a resume. He a hell of a fighter. But a lot of the shit that people been saying, when they saying that he's moving strategically, he really don't want to fight the best. He's really ducking and dodging and moving around certain fighters, right? Ricky Williams boxing, what's happening with it? When they say that, and I've defended him on that. But this shit that he's doing, right? This recent news that just came out, that now the third opponent will either be John Ryder or Makabu. Both of them fucking fights is trash fights. Now, when I got on Canelo Alvarez's head for fighting Triple G, I said, look, don't nobody want to see another fucking Triple G fight. He beat Triple G almost 5 years ago. Excuse me. I said he beat Triple G, right? The second time, almost 5 years ago. That was in 2018, 2019, 2021, 22. So 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago. So I said nobody was calling for a Triple G fight. If he was going to fight Triple G for a third time, he should have did it right after he did it the second time. Nobody wants to see a washed up, raggedy, old ass Triple G in the ring with Canelo, so Canelo can beat on his ass for a third time. Don't nobody want to see that. He's washed up. You know what I'm saying? Him beating Triple G for a third time is not going to prove nothing to nobody. And you know what they said? They said, well, you got to understand, if he's taking hard fight after hard fight after hard fight, he deserves an easy fight, Keon. He deserves an easy fight. None of these other guys are taking back-to-back hard fights. And I said, it's still some bullshit, but I'm going to let up off of him. I'm going to let up off of him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I said it's some bullshit, but, you know, I keep it 100. I keep it real. I said, man, they actually got a point. I said they got a little bit of point, because unless it's Errol Spence or Deontay Wilder, or maybe Jamel Charlo, is very few fighters in all of boxing that's taking back-to-back hard fights. And I gave him credit for motherfucking Caleb Plant, right? You got to give him credit for Bivol, whether we like that fight or not. I ain't really too big on that fight. But then, okay, cool. You take an easy fight, get a big payday against Triple G. Right, we know what it is. But then I said, hold on. John Ryder and Makabu, after taking an easy fight against Triple G? What the fuck shit is this? How can you tell me that you want to fight the best and you fight for legacy and you take two fucking garbage fights in a row? That ain't the best. Nobody gonna give a fuck 20 years from now about a John Ryder fight. Nobody 20 years from now is gonna give a goddamn about a motherfucking Makabu Alunga fight. Nobody. Matter of fact, didn't nobody, if you wasn't in Africa, nobody knew who the fuck goddamn Alunga or a Makabu was. Nobody did. And then, right, check this out, right? I'm going to show y'all how much of bullshit Canelo Alvarez is on. And we got to call it when he's, like I said, I defend him when I think that people getting on his helmet for some bullshit. But hey, I'm a boxing fan, and I'm gonna call out bullshit when I fucking smell it. Now check this out. What did he tell y'all about Demetrius Andrade, y'all? Somebody in the chat, what was his reason for not wanting to fight Demetrius Andrade? Somebody in the chat help me out. Put it in there. What did he tell everybody why he would never fight Demetrius Andrade? One of the reasons he said was boring. What else did he say? 817. He said he was a horrible fighter, right? He said, reason I'm not going to fight Demetrius Andrade, one reason he's boring and he is a horrible fighter. So, all right. And he hasn't fought nobody. He's fought nobody. Okay, bet. He said he was a horrible fighter and he said he has not fought nobody at all. All right, we call bullshit on that when he said that. But okay, cool. Stick to that. Stand on your square. Now, you gonna stand on your square. You can't, you're not gonna fight Demetrius Andrade, right? Bam, stand on your square, stick to that. But you cannot turn around and say, oh, I'm gonna fight John Ryder. Last time I checked, Demetrius Andrade beat John Ryder. So how the fuck are you fighting, or are you willing to fight a John Ryder, but you won't fight Demetrius Andrade because he's a horrible fighter? Well, if Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter and he's boring and he beat John Ryder, what the fuck do that make John Ryder? What does that make John Ryder? Explain that shit to me. Make that shit make sense to me. John Ryder has lost to Demetrius Andrade. He lost to Callum Smith, which you already fucking destroyed Callum Smith. And he should have lost to Daniel Jacobs. And you beat Daniel Jacobs. So you going to fight John Ryder? And they said, oh, you know, because John Ryder is going to probably be his mandatory by the time he gets done with Triple G. Well, the last time I fucking checked, didn't you have a mandatory at 160 and his name was Jamal Charlo? So let's not start pretending like, oh, you have to face all your mandatories and you just doing it because he's a mandatory. See, this shit right here, he can fight. Don't get me wrong. But this is some fried ass shit. This is some fried ass shit right here. You didn't want to face Jamal Charlo when he was your mandatory. But you was willing to face Abner fucking Yildirim. Come on now. And we know that Canelo Alvarez does what he wants. So it ain't no fucking way that they're going to fucking mandate and strip you if you don't face no goddamn fucking John Ryder. They ain't going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're going to fucking pull some shit and make John Ryder fight another fucking eliminator because that's how they do in boxing. You want to face John Ryder and pretend like, oh, well, I fought him because I didn't have no choice. He was my mandatory. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. You had Demetrius Andrade on your heels for years. Did you ever fight Demetrius Andrade? No. No, sir, you didn't. But now, all of a sudden, John Ryder? I'm just trying to figure out how you fight for legacy and you want to fight the best, but you fighting a man that got beat by another man that you said was horrible in the ring. If somebody can make that shit make sense to me, then we can move on. I won't, because I know it's a whole bunch of, I'm a boxing fan. I know it's a whole bunch of Canelo Alvarez motherfucking fanatics in here. I want one of y'all to type in the comments and make that shit make sense to me. He said that Demetrius Andrade was a horrible fighter, but you're willing to fight a fighter that he beat. About billions, he said, when was the last time Canelo fought a black fighter? That ain't my concern right now. My concern ain't about him fighting a black fighter because most of these motherfucking black fighters ain't fighting another black fighter. So that ain't none of my concern. My concern is this shit that I'm talking about right now. I want to know. I want somebody to make this shit make sense to me. You see how you got to watch the things that you say. When you say shit that doesn't make sense and it don't add up, it's always going to come back to haunt you. Can't nobody make this shit make sense to me, right? And but that's not all. But wait, it gets worse. It gets worse, y'all. And hit my like button. Because I know a lot of y'all in here, if I check these likes, I know a lot of y'all in here just sitting in here and you ain't touched the like button. Hit the like button. Y'all smash on my like button. So, it gets worse. Alanga Makabu. Y'all ever seen him fight? Have y'all ever seen Alanga Makabu fight? The cruiserweight. Have y'all ever seen him fight? Jesus Garcia says Andrade needs a tune-up fight with Benavidez, then he can fight Canelo, in my opinion. No, that is not what I asked. I said, I want you to answer this question, right? We're not going to deflect. We're not going to deflect. The question was, if Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, how does it make sense that he's willing to fight a fighter that Demetrius Andrade already beat in the past? So, if Demetrius Andrade needed a tune-up versus David Benavidez, who does John Ryder need a tune-up against? I don't want to know. I want to know it. Nobody? You can't think of nobody? All right. Anyway, we going to move on to motherfucking Makabu. Nobody knew who Makabu was, had heard of him, unless you was fucking lived in Africa, right? Unless you lived in Africa, then you might have known who Alanga Makabu was, right? Well, I went back and I watched a few of his fights. And he just had a fight a couple weeks ago. So I probably watched about 4 of his fights. All of the fights, I came to the fucking same conclusion. This motherfucker's trash. He's trash and he's some more trash. He can't fight. He's trash. And he lost his last fight. And they gave him a gift decision. Now, I wonder why Canelo Alvarez is willing to move up and fight Ilanga Makabu. But he wasn't willing to move up and fight Bredis. He wasn't willing to move up and fight Okoli. But he was willing to move up and fight Ilanga Makabu. So, like I said, I had to go back and study this dude. And I said, well, let me find out if he any good. And only thing I found out is fucking how trash he was. And you called Demetrius Andrade a horrible fighter, but you picking horrible opponents to fight. Make that shit make sense. Now, just because they say, oh, wait, he moving up to cruiserweight is dangerous. Ain't shit dangerous about that fight. It's nothing dangerous about that motherfucking fight. Just because you big does not mean that you can fucking fight better than somebody that's smaller than you. That don't mean shit. When my man Roy Jones right here, when he moved up to heavyweight and fought John Ruiz, for those who are old enough to remember this shit, was that a dangerous fight? When you saw Roy Jones destroy John Ruiz and beat him 12 rounds to 0. He shut him out. Was that a dangerous fight? He moved all the way up to heavyweight. You feel me? He moved all the way up to heavyweight. But when they got in the ring, did it look like that John Ruiz was any type of dangerous for Roy Jones Jr.? No, he destroyed him. And John Ruiz was way bigger than Roy Jones. So my point is just because he's bigger, it don't fucking make it dangerous. He don't have the skills to make it a dangerous fight for Canelo. Just like John Ruiz didn't have the skills to make it a dangerous fight for Roy Jones Jr. Skills matter. You feel me? Roy Jones made it an easy fight because he has so much more skills than John Ruiz. Canelo Alvarez, if he move up and fight fucking Makabu, that shit is going to be an easy fight because he got his skill level is on a whole fucking another planet than Makabu's. That's like a fucking cruiserweight amateur fighting goddamn Canelo Alvarez. Ain't shit dangerous about that fight. But his opponent, his diehard motherfucking dick riding ass, you know what I'm saying, fanatics will tell you, oh, Makabu this and Makabu that, and he's dangerous. He's moving all the way up to cruiserweight. That's dangerous. When they have no idea who the fuck Makabu is, but they gonna swear up and down that this man is the most dangerous fighter they ever seen now. You feel me? They're gonna swear up and down that Makabu is the most dangerous motherfucking specimen on the planet now. All of a sudden. I'm telling you. This just real. Can't nobody defend this shit. This shit is undefensible. Telling you. I'm just saying. So, as fast as I'll take up for you, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it 100. If you on some bullshit, you just on some bullshit. Both trash fights. And then you saying, oh, we're looking to fight in Guadalajara, Mexico, because it'll be huge. So you mean to tell me you looking to bring a John Ryder that nobody fucking know, that already been beat by what, 3 other fighters that Canelo fought and beat himself already? Or 2 other fighters that Canelo already fought and beat already? You looking to bring him to Mexico? Or if that don't work out, you looking to get a fucking African that don't nobody know who the fuck he is and bring him over to Mexico? But you don't want to bring another Mexican to Mexico? You got 2 choices. If you want to really fight for legacy and make a big ass fight in Mexico, don't you think that you would fight David Benavidez or Zordo Ramirez? But you willing to choose motherfucking Elangu, Makabu, and John Ryder to bring them to Mexico instead of Zordo Ramirez or David Benavidez? I'm confused, y'all. Make this shit make sense to me. Knockout Boxing, what's happening with it? I see you in the building. Coach, what's happening with it? Salute. I'm confused. Make no sense at all. So the only conclusion I could come to, right? The only conclusion I could come to when I tried to fucking think about this shit and wrap my finger around what's going on. Yeah, y'all was right. Y'all was right. He moves strategically and he don't want to fight the best. His motto is not to fight the best. His motto is to fight the opponent that he looks at and he think, okay, that'll be an easy win for me. That's his motto. That is his motto. He don't want to fight the best. If it's a dangerous fight, he don't want to fight it. Real talk. Let's go down the line. Let's move down the line. Ever since hold on, let me bring his resume up. He don't want to fight the best, y'all. Telling y'all that right now. And I'm not no Canelo Alvarez hater. But it's just some real shit. I see the shit now. He don't want to fight the best. See, a lot of these fighters, they're afraid of putting themselves in the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? They're afraid to go out there in that fire with somebody that's going to give them a threat of having another loss on their record. Look, hold on. This is some bullshit. And like I said, I took up for Canelo on many occasions, but this shit shows he don't want to fight the best. Hold on. So, and let me read my man Juan Garza's super chat. And I appreciate you in the building, man, coming through, always showing love and support to the channel. He says, no disrespect, but if it was, he says, no disrespect. If it's that easy, how come nobody else is doing it? Charlo can't KO mediocre competition at middleweight, but he's going to give Canelo trouble anyway. Yesterday, I challenged Rosie O'Donnell to fight. He said, yesterday, I challenged Rosie O'Donnell to a fight. If I win, I want the Canelo next. Now, I've spoken on Jamal Charlo plenty of times, Juan Garza, and like I said, man, I appreciate you and much love for you coming in here and showing love and support to the channel, whether we agree on the topic or not. Now, I've spoken on Jamal Charlo. You feel me? I've spoken on Jamal Charlo, and pretty much everybody that's a boxing fan that's going to keep it real, we know that Jamal Charlo, he don't want to fight he don't want to fight the best. Jamal, but see, the thing is Jamal Charlo is not the one that's coming out doing interviews and telling you that he wants to fight all of the top guys and telling you that he wants to cement his legacy as one of the greatest fighters in boxing. Jamal Charlo's not the one that's saying that. Canelo Alvarez is saying that, right? So we look at Jamal Charlo now, and we know what Jamal Charlo is about. We're like, man, this dude ain't trying to fight the best. He ain't talking about fighting the best. You feel me? Jamal Charlo is just, he looked like he's content with doing what he's doing, making the amount of money he's making and fight mediocre competition. But Canelo Alvarez is held to a different standard than Jamal Charlo from myself, because he is the one that's doing interviews. He is the one that's telling you, I am the best in the world. Jamal Charlo don't tell you that. You feel me? He is the one that's also telling you, look, I'm fighting for legacy. I got all the money now. I don't care about the money. I'm rich as fuck already. I'm fighting for legacy, and I'm fighting to fight the best. Well, Juan Garza, I think me and you should be able to agree on one thing, is that when you look at those opponents that I named, Triple G, when you look at Ilunga Makabu, and when you look at John Ryder, now one of them jump out to you as the best. Because I know you know boxing, and you know that none of those opponents are nowhere near the best. So that's why, right? That's why I hold him to a higher standard, because I'm going to take a man for his word. If you tell me that you fight for legacy, that you want to fight the best, well, then I'm going to expect you to be a man of your word and do that. That's what I'm going to expect out of you. I'm going to expect for you to do that. But when you turn around and you do the exact opposite, and then you willing to fight men or man that's you said, right, that you said was horrible, you don't want to fight him, but you're willing to fight a fighter that he already beat? Come on now. It's crazy. Lee Stevens said, should he fight the best every single time? Now, Lee Stevens, let me ask you a question, Lee Stevens. Lee, is Triple G the best? Just answer yes or no. Right now, is Triple G the best? He's fighting at 168 pounds. Is Triple G the best fighter at 168 pounds right now? He said, nah. Okay. Is John Ryder at 168, is he the best? Answer the question, yes or no. If you look at 168, is John Ryder the best? He says, nope, not close. If you look at light heavyweight, cruiserweight, right? A lot of people don't know the cruiserweight division. I know the cruiserweight division, but if you look at cruiserweight, is Ilunga Makabu, is he the best? Yes or no? That's it. That's all I want. Yes or no? Is Ilunga Makabu the best at cruiserweight? Yes or no, Lee Drake? He says, checkmate, good point. Now, I didn't get to my point, but what I was saying, like I said earlier, maybe you wasn't in the building. I said, y'all made a good point when you said, okay, he deserves an easy fight once he goes fight Triple G. I didn't agree with it, but I said, y'all got a point. I can't argue with you, right? But you don't deserve 2 fucking give me fights in a row. You don't deserve 2 easy fights in a row, especially when you say that you are fighting for legacy, not money, and you are fighting to fight the best. No, that ain't the best. I named 3 opponents that he got on his hit list next, and they all some fucking trash. All of them. One, I ain't gonna call Triple G trash as far as his career, but shit, he trash right now. He washed up, fresh off spin cycle right now. You know what I'm saying? John Ryder is a good C+ level fighter. Maybe B- at the best. And really, he a C+ level fighter. He's just real rough. He ain't nowhere near the best. Ilunga Makabu, he can't even spell best. So, that's just what that is. We gotta talk about it how it is. You know what I'm saying? Zenith 360 was happening witty. He says, Canelo been ducking style matchups for years. Started at 154 when he fought Liam instead of Charlo or Andrade. That is a fact. Bivol couldn't KO Richardson, and Dervian Chico beat Triple G worse than Canelo. Styles make fights. Now, I can't say that Dervianchenko beat him worse than Canelo, because Dervianchenko took a lot more punishment from Triple G than Canelo did. Canelo didn't take no punishment from Triple G. Dervianchenko did. So I can't agree with you on that. but I get where you coming from. It's some bullshit, y'all. My man, Batman in the building. What's happening with it? Batman says, fuck yeah, he should fight the best because he get that type of money where you should fight the best mostly every time you get in the ring. Right. Right. That's just what it is. If you getting paid, especially, and Batman made another good point. You getting paid 50, 60 mil to get in the ring, why wouldn't you be fighting the best? Shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can't defend this shit. It's bullshit. But, you know, it's smart. It don't get no smarter than that. But see, what the thing I have a problem with is you are misleading and you lying to your fans. Because see, he has diehard fanatic fans that'll run with this shit. He has fans that'll try to make it seem like that John Ryder is the best at 168 pounds just because Canelo about to fight him. Or maybe getting ready to fight him down the line later this year. They'll try to make it seem like that Alongo Makabu is the most dangerous fighter at cruiserweight and the best cruiserweight that they ever seen just because Canelo is getting ready to fight him. Maybe getting ready to fight him. But yeah, that's what it is. The third fight will be John Ryder or Alongo Makabu. That's the two fighters they got on the table. Zenith 360 says Bivol is straight up and down and he's predictable. I've been saying that. I've been saying that. I didn't argue with Coach behind the scenes about that shit, that Bivol ain't shit. And this is before Canelo Alvarez was even gonna fight Bivol. I've been saying that, but I'm not gonna shit on him for the Bivol fight. You know, it's a respectable fight. I don't think too much of Bivol. David Benavidez was beating the fuck out of Bivol in sparring. You feel me? David Benavidez was beating the fuck out of Bivol in sparring. Bro mad because Canelo is running boxing. Let me tell y'all this, right? For all of the Canelo Alvarez dick riders and meat mushers, let me tell y'all this. If David Benavidez become that dude, I'm just saying, if David Benavidez become that dude and he becomes the Mexican, right, that's dominating boxing, if it happened, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm saying if it happened, I want y'all to remember that shit and keep the same energy that y'all was riding with Canelo and y'all was shitting on him. So down the line, remember the energy that y'all had, because I remember the energy that y'all had towards Canelo when y'all thought that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was going to be that dude. Remember, Canelo ain't no real Mexican. Fuck Canelo. He's a redhead motherfucking bastard. That's what y'all were saying. He ain't no real Mexican. We riding with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Viva la Mexico. Hi. Viva la Mexico. We riding with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Fuck Canelo. That's what y'all was saying. Now all of a sudden, it's Canelo this and Canelo that and Canelo this and Canelo that. What happened to fuck Canelo? What happened to that redhead motherfucker ain't a real Mexican? Did y'all think I forgot? Nah, I didn't forget because I was a Canelo fan. I was riding with Canelo. I was arguing with you motherfuckers when y'all was riding for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But all of a sudden now, we all the biggest fucking Canelo fans in the world. See how y'all switched up that fast? Y'all switched up real fast, and y'all expect me to forget that you was riding with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and it was fuck Canelo. Wait, hold on. Let's go back to Triple G. Let's go back to a few years ago when he was getting ready to fight Triple G. Remember, we taking Triple G. Triple G's more Mexican than Canelo. We ride with Triple G. Mexican style. Triple G trainer. Abel Sanchez, he's Mexican. We riding with Triple G. Let's go, Triple G. Fuck Canelo. Fuck that redhead. We riding with Triple G. He fights more. And then remember after the first fight, Triple G, he ain't no real Mexican. He ran. Canelo Alvarez, he not a real Mexican. He ran. Canelo Alvarez ran. We want to see Mexican style. He's not a Mexican. He didn't fight Mexican style. We rooting for Triple G. We want him to stand in the ring and fight Triple G like a fucking real Mexican. Fuck Canelo. That wasn't too long ago. That was just 4 years ago. Now all of a sudden, I guess everybody fucking died and came back to life, or y'all was in a coma for the last 4 years. Y'all forgot? Y'all must have forgot. Now all of a sudden, everybody is motherfucking Canelo God now. But y'all was just shitting on him 4 years ago. Make it make sense to me, y'all. Make it make sense. I was riding for Canelo and y'all was shitting on him. But now Canelo is God to y'all. Make it make sense. My man Zena360 says he calls Andrade born, and then he fights Bivol. It don't get no boring in Bivol. I swear it don't. But like I said, I'm not gonna shit on him for fighting Bivol. Whatever, cool. But you can't fight Bivol and then go turn around and fight Triple G and then turn around after that and tell me you about to fight John Ryder or fucking Makabu. This shit crazy. It's crazy to me. And y'all want to know what else is funny? Y'all want to know what else is funny? Is a lot of his racist fans, right? Anytime you bring up Canelo fighting another fighter that may happen to be black, and I'm just talking about his racist fans. All of them ain't racist, but a lot of them motherfuckers is racist, right? So anytime you bring up Canelo fighting a fighter that may happen to be black, they always make a million excuses, right, against it. They got everything to say against that shit. But now all of a sudden, Canelo started talking about fighting Ilunga Makabu, and it don't get no blacker than him because he African. All of a sudden, y'all fucking pro Makabu. Oh, yeah, that is a great fight. Oh, man, if he moves up and fight Makabu, man, that'd be fucking great. He's going for greatness. Oh, man, this shit don't make no sense to me, man. It don't make no sense. What now? All of a sudden, Makabu is the fucking greatest. Y'all pro Makabu now. What the fuck is going on? I'm just saying. Y'all gotta chill with this. See, that lets me know when you start doing shit like that, I can't respect you as a boxing fan, right? I know right off the bat, you just a fan of a certain boxer. I can't respect it. I can't have a conversation with somebody that's on some bullshit like that. My man Juan Garza back in that super chat again, man. I appreciate you. He says, I'm not gonna lie. He says, I'll watch Canelo fight no matter who he fights. He says, it's like a fiesta in my house. He says, anybody can get caught in boxing. He says, if Charlo or Benavidez get lucky and beat him, they become undisputed off one fight. Then they go back to not I think he said, then they'll go back to not fighting nobody. Man, I don't like see, and this is the thing, Juan Garza, right? I don't have a problem with if you are a Mexican and you riding for Canelo, right? And like you said, you're going to watch whoever he fight, you're going to support him and you're going to ride for it. I don't have a problem with that, right? I mean, shit, that's your country, man. You're going to ride. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is when these fans that switch it up, they go back and forth. And then they turn into fucking hypocrites. I have a problem if you're a hypocrite, right? Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. That's what I have a problem with. It's the hypocritical shit that goes on. So you know, I'm to the point to where I have fighters that I support, right? The only fighter, I'm gonna keep it 100. The only fighter that I'll support, because we gotta understand, you have to get to a certain point in your career to where you pretty much can pick, you know what I'm saying, pick whoever you want to fight, where you have that power. It's only a few fighters that's in boxing that have the ability to say, hey, I want to fight him. That's my next fight. And get that fight. Canelo, one of them, right? But it's only of certain fighters. It's only probably one fighter that I'll support, that I'll say, you know what? I don't give a fuck who he fight. And that's Deontay Wilder. Now, the reason I didn't mention Gary Russell and the Russell brothers, because they're not on that level to where they can pick whoever they want to, right? But Wilder pretty much on that level, right? And I'll support Wilder no matter who he get in the ring with, is because to me it's deeper than boxing. You feel what I'm saying? He stuck his head out for my people when nobody else wanted to do it. You feel? So it's deeper than boxing. But I'm a huge Errol Spence fan. But if Errol Spence fight motherfucking what's his name that he about to fight motherfucking I lost all train of thought right now. Excuse me, y'all. Ugas. If Errol Spence fights Ugas, right? And then Errol Spence turn around and fight goddamn, I don't know, Ivan Redcatch, and then run a rematch with Danny Garcia, and then fucking bring goddamn Lamont Peterson out of retirement and fight him. I'm not about to support that shit. Now, I'm no longer an Errol Spence fan. And I'm not finna support Errol Spence doing some fuck shit. So that's just how it is. You feel me? So with that being said, Canelo, who's supposed to be to a lot of people the best fighter in the world, I'm not supporting that shit. Like I said, if you say, okay, he deserves an easy fight because, you know, if he fighting back-to-back killers, okay, well, he deserves an easy fight in between. Give him the Triple G fight, big money fight for him. Let him beat the shit out of Triple G. But then I expect you to come back and fight the best, like you said you was going to do. Well, DeMarcus Roy says, well, too bad Wilder's retiring. Well, you know what? Too bad you retiring out of my motherfucking chat. Bye. You can watch from the background. Lord to the Game Boxing Talk. What's happening with it? You feel me? Now you can watch from the background and you retired from my motherfucking YouTube channel. Bye. So, you know, I mean, that's just how I feel. Bro, I don't talk about this boxing shit from a diehard fucking fanatic perspective. I talk about it as being a boxing fan that then been in boxing and watching boxing for years and years and years and years. Real talk. T Hunt, salute. Justo Chavez, what's happening with it? So if you come in here and talk about, oh, he's a Canelo Alvarez hater. Everybody that watch my show and know me know I'm far from that. I'm a realist though. Loyal to the game, boxing talk. What it do? And let me get this super chat. I see you, Zenith. Zenith says, let people talk long enough. They reveal the truth. One just admitted Canelo fans support Canelo not fighting Charlo, Andrade, and Benavidez because they're scared of Oscar. He says Mayweather situation. I don't think he was saying that. I got from what and salute to Zen, man. I appreciate you coming through, always showing love. What I got, honestly, what I got from one is that, hey, I'm Mexican and I'm gonna support Canelo no matter who he fight. When he fights, it's like a motherfucking holiday for us. That's cool. I respect that from him. But if you come on here and you switching it up, and you was a couple years ago, you was talking about, oh, Mexican style, we don't fuck with that redhead, and now all of a sudden you fucking pro goddamn Canelo and everything. I can't respect that. Or you, every time Canelo brings up, or every time Canelo name is brought up with another fighter that may happen to be black, you make a million excuses why Canelo shouldn't have to fight that fighter. And then when Makabu comes up, all of a sudden, Makabu, we like that fight. Oh, Makabu this, and you didn't even know who the fuck he was. But yeah, y'all hit the like button. Let me check these likes because I cooked on Canelo way too long than I really wanted to. Way too long. But y'all hit my like button. Y'all hit my like button because we about to cook on the big fish. Yeah. That nigga with the shag. Yeah. We going to cook on that nigga with the shag. So y'all get my lights up. Y'all give me a minute. I'm about to hit this bathroom real quick and I'm going to be right back. Y'all get the lights up while I'm going. I'll be right back. All right, we back. Now, what I want to do real quick, Kwame, you still in the building? Kwame, put a 1 in the chat if you still in the building. Let me text Kwame real quick. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kwame in that super chat. Appreciate you. He said, you know, niggas a good show when they can go. He said, go take a smash in the middle of it. Nah, man, I had to piss. Hey, Kwame, I'm gonna send you the link right now because we finna get on that nigga in the Shag with the Shag. And Kwame, know when that term originated and when I came up with that. Cause I believe me and Kwame was on live when I came up with that shit. So Kwame, it's only right for me to send you this link. If you got a chance to come on here and cook with me, I'm gonna send you the link right now, Kwame. Hold on. There you go. There you go. There you go, Kwame. I sent you the link. My man Juan Garza back in that super chat. Man, I appreciate you, man, showing love to the channel and supporting. He says, I hate how Hopkins gave Taylor a shot at the undisputed off one fight. Then he didn't fight the best until he fought Pavlik and lost. He says, then you see what Hopkins did. He said, then you see what Hopkins did to his ass. He said Hopkins should have relinquished the belts and made him earn it. I mean, I remember that because you can't say that about Jermaine Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Taylor from my hometown, that was my guy. Couldn't nobody tell me shit about Jermaine Taylor one. So Jermaine, now when you talked about Jermaine Taylor, I was going to support Jermaine Taylor, win, lose, or draw, or no matter who he fought. You know what I'm saying? That's how you feel about Canelo is how I felt about Jermaine Taylor. But Jermaine Taylor, man, was a hell of a fighter. He just wasn't, you know, he just had outside of the ring issues that held him back. But, you know, Kelly Pavlik is my guy. You know, I'm friends with Kelly Pavlik. That's my dude. And I'm probably going to have Kelly Pavlik on here soon, too. I'm gonna hit him up, see if he want to come on. But I mean, if you earn your shot, I don't believe in like, oh well, you shouldn't give them a nod. If they earn it, if they get to that top spot and they worthy of it, give them a shot. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. My man Zenith 360 back off in that super chat, always coming through showing love, man. I appreciate you. He says, he said if they beat Canelo, they become pound for pound or top guy. He says, which lets me know they can see Charlo, DB, etc. as threats. They don't want Canelo to lose to a dog guy protecting that golden boy. If they, I mean, the huge Canelo fans, they don't want Canelo to lose, period. You know, that's just what it is. I mean, but hey, Knockout Boxing says that is a term he said your term. He said that is definitely your term. First place I heard it for sure. Yeah. You know, but we see what's going on, and we're gonna talk about that. Let me get Kwame on here. Kwame,
what's poppin', family?
What it do?
Same
that
shit.
Nigga with the Shag is back.
He back, man.
Nigga with the Shag. Now,
yes, sir.
Kwame, let's talk about it, my dude. And y'all hit the like. Y'all get the likes up. But we finna cook. 817 Boxing B, you already know. You know what I'm saying? Them Arkansas Hogs, them Razorbacks, boy. But so Kwame.
Yes, sir.
That nigga with the Shag is back. You feel me? Now,
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell y'all, let's tell them where the term originated from. One day, I think me and you was doing the show, and this was when we was in the middle of the pandemic, I believe, or it was after Errol Spence when he hadn't came back to the ring yet, after his car accident, and everybody was on the internet. They was all over Loyal to the Game boxing talk. They was everywhere. They was talking big shit. Oh, he ain't this, and he's a drunk, and he this, and you know what I'm saying? He'll never be this, and he'll never be that. And I said, y'all motherfuckers keep talking, and you gonna get that nigga with the shag back. That nigga with the shag is gonna come back on y'all if y'all keep talking. I said, because he hears everything and all of that shit that y'all talking, right? All of that shit that y'all talk is gonna motivate him. You remember that shit, don't you, Kwame?
I sure do.
Yeah, so I said, y'all gonna get that nigga with the shag back. Y'all gonna get that nigga with the shag. So they kept on talking. They kept on talking. We seen him come back and we seen him fight Danny Garcia. Nah. That nigga with the shag wasn't back. Right? Wasn't back yet. So we kept on. Yeah, that was good. But we need that nigga with the shag back. What'd he do? He got on this fucking shit. You see the man fucking cut up like a bad bag of dope. You see him. And then you turned around and you see that shag is back. The nigga growing the shag back. And I said, didn't I say this, Kwame? I said, if he ever grow that shag back, it's a motherfucking rap for these niggas.
Facts.
I said, once you see him grow that shag back, it's a rap. He heard what I said. And he letting y'all know. When he turned around and you seen that shag, he was letting y'all know. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
He back.
You know what I'm saying? He see everything. He see my videos. He be watching my shit. You know what I'm saying? And he knew. And that was his way of letting y'all know. Y'all see the shag growing back. Oh, I'm back. That nigga with the shag is back. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. See, Terrence Bud Crawford, much respected Bud. You know what I'm saying? Got no problem with Bud. Hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. But Bud Crawford was never really, you know what I'm saying, really serious about fighting Errol Spence when he was that nigga with the shag.
With the shag. And that's a fact.
Let's go back, right? Let's go back to the Breakfast Club interview. When they were both on Breakfast Club. Now, they try to make it seem like that. Terrence Crawford, oh man, he been pressing Errol Spence for 5 years now. He been wanting Errol Spence for so bad. Well, let's go back to the Breakfast Club. This when he was that nigga with the shag. When he was still training with Blu-ray, when he was that nigga with the shag, right? Terrence Crawford went on the Breakfast Club and they asked Bud, man, we want to see you fight that dude, Errol Spence. That'll be a hell of a fight. What did Terrence Crawford say? He says, well, yeah, you know, that fight, it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? We'll fight somewhere down the line, but it'll have to make sense financially and everything. You know, we'll fight somewhere. Did that sound like a man that was just eager and pressing for the fight? Nah. Thanks. Didn't sound like that to me. Now, what happened is they seen him fight Mikey Garcia. Right? He dominated Mikey Garcia, beat him 12 rounds. But then they start hearing about Bomac said this shit. This ain't no shit I'm making up. They start hearing about outside of the ring things that Errol was doing, right? Then they seen him fight Sean Porter. During that time, the whole time they was hearing about outside of the shit, ring, the things that he was doing outside of the ring. Then they start saying, can't no motherfucking drunk beat Bud. The man is a drunk. The man like to party. The man is motherfucking fat. Remember when they met up back behind stage and Errol was probably weighing about 185. He was poking at Errol. You fat. Man, I'm going to stop you. You fat. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So now they like, that nigga with your shag He ain't the nigga with the Shag no more. This nigga ain't on his A game. We see it in the ring. We see his. You remember that nigga back was ripped up. You remember how he used to look? Back ripped up, abs ripped up, muscles in places you ain't even supposed to have muscles in. Now they see him, right? They see him weigh in against Sean Porter. They said, this motherfucker, what? Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Errol? He's a drunk. We want that fight with Errol Spence. He ducking. He don't want no parts of us. He don't want none of it. They never start talking that shit, right? For the small amount of time they was talking that shit, they wasn't talking that shit until they seen he no longer had the motherfucking Shag, right? He didn't have his power no more. You feel me? The Shag was gone, and that nigga with the Shag was gone. He was still an A-level fighter, but he wasn't that nigga with the Shag. When they seen that he was no longer the fighter that could, you know what I'm saying, how do I say it? He was no longer the fighter at that point that can separate himself from the rest of the pack. Let's keep it real.
100.
He was no longer the fighter that could separate himself from the rest of the pack. So at that point in time, they said, you know what? He can't beat us. This man ain't fucking disciplined enough outside of the ring to fuck with us. And the whole time I said, okay, they gonna keep talking and they gonna get that nigga with the Shag back. That nigga with the Shag is coming back. I said, Kwame, that nigga with the Shag is coming back, right? And we waiting. Now, Kwame, you know what they did? They made that nigga with the Shag rise up out of his motherfucking casket. And it's a fucking wrap. Now, they see that nigga with the Shag, right? Now they say, oh shit, this nigga ain't fucking around no more. This nigga in fight shape, 2 months out of the fight. Fight 2 months away, he already in fight shape.
Facts.
He ain't fucking around no more. All of a sudden, Kwame, all of a sudden, what Bernie say? Oh man, hey, you miss me? He don't want it. Hey man, your boy don't want it. He don't want it. We want Jamel Charlo. Give us Charlo. He don't want it. Give us Charlo. Now they talking about Charlo. Right?
What's crazy about the key is what they were saying was that Errol was going to go to 154 to avoid them. Now look.
Right. That nigga with the Shag is back. Hey, you miss me? That motherfucking Bernie. You miss me? It's your boy Bernie. You miss me? Hey, now they talking about going to 154. That nigga with the Shag is right here. Right here. One more belt to grab. And you know what I'm saying? You're going to see the nigga that you was quiet about back in 2017. You know what I'm saying? You was quiet back in 2017, 2018. You was quiet about him then. Then you started fake pretending like you just wanted him so bad, right? Now you see him back, and all of a sudden we want to fight Jamel Charlo or Brian Castano. See, you should have shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You should have shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? The man laying in the bed at night, all he hears is drunk. He ain't shit. He'll never be. That shit motivated him.
Yep.
He motivated him. What you think he telling us by growing the Shag back? Y'all said y'all wanted that nigga with the Shag. Well, I'm back, y'all. He didn't do it before in the Danny Garcia fight because he knew he wasn't back to that nigga yet. That nigga with the Shag is back. I'm telling you. And I told y'all 2 years ago, if you keep talking, that nigga with the Shag was going to come back.
That's a fact.
Kwame.
That's a fact.
Go ahead, Kwame.
Man, it's incredible, man. Just looking at the press conference yesterday, there was just a focus that was there from the beginning. I was like, damn, like he looked serious. Um, and my shout out to my boy Chris who has a Facebook group and a YouTube channel called Uppercuts Boxing.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah, that's my guy.
yeah, Chris, yeah, he did some interviews with EJ yesterday, and he asked Earl. He said, "What's the difference between this training camp and all your other training camps?" And he said, "Well, my previous training camps, I was working against my body. This training camp, my body's working with me."
That was Chris that was doing that interview.
Yep,
I didn't
yep, that
know
was
that.
Chris. Yeah, it was
Maybe
Chris.
you know these motherfucking bigger channels, they'll take your shit
It's shit. Yeah,
and try to act like that they was the
it's,
ones, you know what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep. That was Chris, man. And
They did that shit to me when I interviewed Errol back in the day.
yeah, they do anything for content, man. And it's just a lot of different things that Earl has said. Was it seemed like there's a he has a genuine appreciation for his career again. Like he mentioned that like this was his third chance at boxing, and a lot of times when you don't go through a situation, you watch a person go through a situation, you may not see the gravity of it. Me personally, I ain't gonna lie. I really took for granted the his last injury because the car accident was so crazy. I was like, this torn retina, this ain't shit. He gonna just, what I'm saying, like he gonna make it through this. But torn retinas end people careers. Like this is something he had to go through while Team Crawford was making all kind of posts about his eye and putting patches on their eyes and doing all kind of ignorant shit like that. And trust me, like you said, he heard it all. He heard it all, and it was the torn retina actually was a blessing in disguise because the other thing that I see with Earl now is that the only thing that could really give him true healing from the accident, all that trauma that his body took, was time. And that accident happened in 2019. We in 2022. His body has had more time to heal because it was evident that his body wasn't fully healed when he fought Danny Garcia, and he still dominated Danny Garcia like no other welterweight dominated him. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Getting a nutritionist, I think, was a big help to him. Uh, his body composition is different, even though he's filled out. He's filled out correctly. And Ugas in trouble, fam. Ugas is in big trouble because Ugas is tailor made for his style because Ugas don't got no bicycle and Ugas got 12 knockouts. He don't have the power to keep Errol off of him. He don't have it. And Errol relishes in those type of fights when he has to bite down and just fight your ass. Because he said that against with Danny Garcia. He said, man, I should beat this guy 70%. He said, but I already had it in my mind, like if shit wasn't going the right way, we was gonna fight. Like we was just gonna bite down and we was gonna fight. And I think we're gonna see a lot of new wrinkles too. Because Ugas is there to be hit. You look at even though I gave him the Sean Porter fight, he took a considerable amount of damage in that fight. Even with the Pacquiao fight, even though he dominated Pacquiao and it was unanimous decision, he took a considerable amount of damage in that fight. Uh, Errol just bigger. Bigger. He's stronger. Errol has also seen. Uh, he's been all over the world. He's seen Cuban style boxers. He's seen that before. I'm not saying that. Like he's seen Ugas, but people like, oh well, Ugas fought a lot of southpaws. He gonna be able to beat Earl. Earl seen Cuban boxers. He fought USA. He fought internationally. He's seen it all already, and it's about timing. Because luckily, Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter they were spared. Danny Garcia they were spared. You know what I'm saying? Ugas not gonna be spared, man.
I
He's
wouldn't
not.
say it was spirit. I would say that they got him on his motherfucking C game.
And that's why I said that's why I'm using the word spared
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
got him on their C game. Because if the nigga with the shag would have shown up, uh, I feel like it happened to Mikey Garcia because he was smaller. He not the same. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter, I believe, would have also had a Lamont Peterson type effect as well, where he wouldn't have been the same if the same dude who showed up to fight Kell Brook showed up to fight Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? Those after effects of, you know what I'm saying? You're better off losing the way that he lost to Terrence Crawford by getting dropped, getting hit in the chin, and going down and taking a sustained beating for rounds. That should change you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can look at when Matisse viciously stopped Lamont Peterson. He still had a pretty decent career after that. Close fight with Danny Garcia. A lot of good fights after that. But after he fought Earl, he got broken up. You know what I'm saying? And Lipness went in there and finished him off. So yeah, I think they woke up a sleeping giant, man. And Team Crawford got to keep the same energy now. We don't want to hear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Show up to the fight. Get in the
Well,
ring. You know what I'm saying? You got to they definitely got to keep that same energy, fam.
now I want to address some comments that what you said TV made, right? First, I'm gonna scroll up. He says Crawford says if I don't get Spence fight, he would like the winner of Charlo and Castano. Well, Bernie, the whole time, and you was on the live because I seen you in there. What said TV when Bernie was talking all that shit, telling everybody that Spence was gonna fight motherfucking Thurman next, telling all type of lies, and you was in there talking about he was facts and he was spitting facts and all that shit, right? Bernie was pushing for the Charlo and Castano winner, was he not? Right now, you said the timeline. You also said the timeline has been twisted in this live. Well, was anything that Bernie was saying when you kept telling him how much of facts he was spitting when he was over there, right? Hating on motherfucking Errol Spence, and you was one of the main ones that was in the comment section. Yeah, I seen you. I seen it, right? When he was trying to convince everybody that Errol Spence wanted to fight Thurman and all that other bullshit. Was anything twisted? Because I didn't hear you tell Bernie, hey, man, that ain't true. You twisting facts.
Yo, Key, the other thing that I really appreciate about you is that you have facts and understand timelines and how and when shit went down. Cause this real simple, right? It's a fact that when couple facts I put out there. When Terrence Crawford came into the welterweight division knowing he was going to have to fight Jeff Horn first, he was asked on First Take by Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman about fighting Errol Spence. He said Keith Thurman. We're not going to knock him about that. You know, Keith Thurman had 2 belts. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to knock him about that. When they said, when I see Keith Thurman, I see very, very good. When I see Errol Spence, I see special. He said the eye test can lie to you. He said that, right? So he never called out Errol Spence coming into 147. Now, his promoter came in, Bob Arum, and as soon as they got in there, he did exactly what he did with Manny Pacquiao to Floyd Mayweather. He attached Terrence Crawford to Errol Spence, knowing that there was no fight on the horizon coming close at all. What did he do? He came in and he said, now listen to the contradiction. Keith Thurman is not an elite fighter. Sean Porter's not an elite fighter. Danny Garcia's not an elite fighter. We don't want any of those fights. We only want Errol Spence. This is what he said when he came in there, right? Now, after the Jeff Horn fight, when ESPN people get in his face and ask him who he want to fight, he said he want to fight all the champions. Well, I thought Keith Thurman was a champion. I thought he was an elite. Your promoter said that's not a fight that y'all want. You never said Errol Spence's name. We go into the Benavidez fight. There's no buzz for the Benavidez fight at all until the week of the fight where they had that bullshit going on. When Benavidez was working out in a gym and they came in there talking shit and all that. They asked him after the Benavidez fight, who do you want to fight next? He said all the champions. I thought your promoter said you ain't fighting those guys, right? So then we roll into Errol Spence going to fight, because here's the timeline. You got Jeff Horn, you have Benavidez, and then who you have next? Khan coming up, right? Errol Spence goes and fights Mikey Garcia, right? Mikey Garcia doesn't get stopped by Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford puts out some type of tweet. You hit him over 300 times. It didn't hurt his feelings or some shit like that. He said, right? Then they went and fought Amir Khan, right? And then that's when the whole split stuff started happening. And then after he saw that he didn't stop Mikey Garcia, then he said Errol Spence's name for the first time, right? That was the first.
That's
after
exactly the point.
Didn't stop Mikey Garcia.
That's exactly the point I was making, Kwame.
I know that, and I know the timeline with you. That's why I said I respect your timelines, because you know what's up, right? And then Bomac comes out with he's a drunk and a drunk ain't shit and all this stuff. They're going into the Sean Porter fight. Errol Spence is posting after the Mikey Garcia fight. Matter of fact, they did Errol was at a boxing expo and people were snapping on Terrence Crawford for not having a table there, because Earl was there signing a lot of merch and he sold a whole lot of merch. Terrence Crawford wasn't there. People was like, why this guy wouldn't be there too, promoting himself and selling merch. When they went and did the interview with Errol Spence had on a white beater and he had a belly, and everyone was talking about how he was fat, right? So then he fights Mikey Garcia, and I promise you, right? Because I follow it all. I go to the weigh-in for the Mikey Garcia fight. Rewind. I went to the weigh-in for the Ocampo fight. I never forget this. He goes up on the stage. Him and Ocampo had a face-off, and Earl flexes, and his core looks so crazy. It looked crazy when he did it. I was like, damn, this nigga, he gonna kill this dude, Ocampo. Now, fast forward. He does the boxing expo and has a fat stomach. When I go to the Mikey Garcia fight, it just so happened how God worked. I winded up sitting next to Blu-ray, and I wound up sitting there. Earl got a lot of dogs, and the guy who trained his dogs was with them. And I'm sitting next to Blu-ray, and I'm like, damn, I'm waiting to see how Earl looked at the weigh-in, because I saw he was fat at the expo. Earl came out looking frail. So I looked at Blu-ray, and I said, yo, Blue. I said, you ain't work with Earl this camp. So Blue just put his head down, started laughing. He said, what made you say that? I said, look at him. And he just started laughing. He ain't say nothing. After the weigh-in, we go to Papados, right? We go to Papados. Earl is sitting in there. They had like a little gazebo, and they had like all his family and his clique and his camp, his pops, Derek, all of them. Might have been about 20 people in there. I go in there. I say what's up to Derek. I say what's up to Earl Pops, because his Pops is the person I would talk to normally, because his Pops from Jamaica, and we vibed on that when we met the first time. And Earl came out to take pictures, and he only took like 2 pictures. Earl looked weak as fuck. He was drained. I got the pictures. He was drained at the Mikey Garcia fight. When I shook his hand, he came out and he was like, I'm only taking X amount of pictures. He took a picture with IOTBA, and he was like, damn, son, how many pictures I'm gonna take with you? Like, we done took mad pictures together. And then people rushed him, right? And and he said, I'm only gonna take one more picture. And he said it was gonna be with me. We took the picture. So I dapped him up, and he felt weak. I'm like, I thought this motherfucker was strong as shit. He was weak. He felt weak as shit when I dapped him up. I like, damn. I was at the fight ringside, fam. I was at the fight ringside. I could see him and Mikey Garcia. When you at the boxing ring, right up on the ring, I could see him and Mikey Garcia like looking into each other's eyes, like focusing and trying to figure each other out. Earl tried to stop Mikey Garcia in the 9th round. He tried.
He said he did. But
he didn't have
at
it.
one point, he said he had tried. He said, "Man, dude was tough."
He didn't have it.
Going.
And his pops.
And you know what, Kwame? If you go to the right, he looked bad in the Mikey Garcia fight, but he looked even worse than the Sean Porter fight. He looked worse than he did in the Chuck. But see, that's the reason why is because it's you had a longer amount of time once you got the Sean Porter fucking off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's shit. Now you got a year and a half of just fucking off.
Fucking off. Yep.
2 years of fucking off.
Yep.
So, but he was still, but the main thing is he was still good enough to beat them.
Right.
Being a shell of himself.
Facts.
In fighters, they know that. Trainers know that. Facts. These fighters, they want every advantage they can get. And when they smell blood, they gonna want to jump on it. That's why Terrence, see, now people wonder why. Why did Terrence Crawford all of a sudden put that clause in his contract with motherfucking Top Rank? Because he wanted to fight with Errol Spence. Yeah, he did want to fight.
Yep.
But why did he want to fight at that point in time so bad? But he didn't really want it like that before. Because Errol Spence was fucking vulnerable and he smelled blood. He said, man, I could fucking go in here. I can knock this because I'm going to keep it real. I talked to Kwame about this shit. I said, hey, man, Errol Spence looking like this. I don't know if he can beat Terrence Crawford.
I said the same thing.
At this point in time. I said, he's going to have to get back to that nigga with the Shag if you want to fuck with Terrence Crawford. Facts. I said, because him getting in the ring looking like he did against Mikey Garcia or in Sean Porter, I said, that ain't going to fucking, you know what I'm saying? That shit ain't going to fly with Terrence Crawford. I told Kwame that shit. We talked about this shit, and I said, yeah. Sure did. I said, nah, bro. And then when I see him get back on this shit, I said, yeah, I'm riding with EJ. And now, Terrence Crawford, I'm telling y'all,
ain't been a whole lot of talk about it no more. Ain't been a whole lot of talk about it no more. But just going back to that whole timeline, like you said, then he go into the Porter fight, right? And then 3 weeks, I got the pick. He put a post on his Instagram that said "No more fat boy," and it was 3 weeks in the camp. It says 6 weeks to go, and he looked skinny, he looked drained, and his abs was just trying to come back out. 3 weeks in the camp, didn't look nothing like this. And what people want to do, right, is they want to take those two. It's crazy how people are. They want to take those two performances and rate his entire career on what he's able to do, based on. But check this out. These are the same people who got on the internet and said the reason that Bud would beat him is because Bud's more disciplined than him and he's a drunk. But they want to take the same fights that they accused him of that for, and then do a triangle theory and say, well, look what he did with Porter.
Right.
And look what Bud did with Porter.
Right.
So
knowing that he was on some bullshit when he fought them. Knowing he was a shell of himself.
And then look how eager after the Porter fight, look how eager Danny Garcia was for that fight. He was excited. He jumped up. Yeah, I'm next. I'm next. Because those guys, what the problem was, because remember after the Ocampo fight, Lamont Peterson fight, Lamont Peterson's trainer Barry Hunter had confirmed the only reason Lamont is here because Lamont had to drop his WBA regular title that he just got the fight before to fight Errol, is because the rest of those guys, the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans, and the Sean Porters, the PBC guys, none of those guys answered the call when Al called.
Nigga, this tell you everything you need to know right here. What the fuck that look like? That tell you everything you need. And y'all was bragging? Come on now. I tell you, the man, he wasn't that nigga with the Shag
at all.
Come on now.
At all.
Now. That's why they was jumping up. This is why the man put the motherfucking clause in the contract. That's why he put the clause in the contract. Oh, you got to give me an Errol Spence fight now. He looking like this in the weigh-ins.
Facts.
He looking like they dug him. He was mummified and they dug him up out the goddamn grave.
Facts.
Right? Oh, yeah, we need that fight now. But they don't want that nigga with the Shag. Now, what are we in? We in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
March 1st. We over a month and a half out, and he already looking like this now. That ain't a difference. That's the nigga with the Shag right there. Come on, man. Like I said, much respect to Crawford, but they ain't what you think he is. He ain't what you think he is. Trust me.
Let me see. I don't know. There might be a glare.
Nah, yeah, you got a bad glare.
How about that?
Yeah, you can see it a little bit.
This is Errol Spence 3 weeks into the Porter camp. This is him 3 weeks.
You can barely see it. But, and so the man told you, he said, I'm having fun in camp. Well, why you having fun in camp? Because, man, I'm like, he said, this is the first time in years I haven't had to fucking just face going to camp, draining myself, fucking dreading because I'm cutting weight and I'm pissed off. I'm hurting. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling weak because I'm cutting weight the whole time. Now he said, I'm having fun in camp. I don't got to worry about none of that shit. I'm on my fucking shit.
I'm not even wearing a sauna
I'm not wearing no sauna suit. None of that. And he said, before you heard him say, leading up to the Danny Garcia fight, he said he was 190 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Danny Garcia fight. He said he was 190 pounds.
Because he wasn't mobile because of the accident. And then COVID hit, so he was stuck in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Juan Garza said, in respect to Juan Garza coming through in that super chat once again, he says, I think Bud will win because Bud is more capable of adjustments. He said Bud struggles early, but adjusts and rallies late. I respect your opinion, Juan Garza. Yep. I respect your opinion, and he do know how to make adjustments, but you know the difference between the fighters that Bud been in the ring and he makes those adjustments against, they're different. You see what I'm saying? They're different. Now, let's just go back to his most recent fight with Sean Porter. If you notice, when Sean Porter was on his ass like that, he couldn't get Sean Porter off of him. But Sean Porter was fighting timid, right? And Sean Porter said it. He says, I don't know. He says, I fought different from what I usually fight. He's like, I'm usually on go mode from round 1 to round 12 if it go that long. I'm on you nonstop. He said, I just didn't have it in me. He said, I don't know what it was. He said, I seen it, but I didn't have it in me. Now, Errol Spence, first of all, he's better than Sean Porter. Like I said, we seen Errol Spence, a shell of himself, beat Sean Porter. He was a shell of himself when he beat Sean Porter, right? But Errol Spence is way better than Sean Porter. He know how to fight inside way better than Sean Porter. He's stronger than Sean Porter, bigger than Sean Porter, and he's a lot more fundamental than Sean Porter. When Errol Spence is not going to give Bud Crawford a chance to breathe and make no adjustments. And Errol Spence got foot movement. He's going to be right there with him. I'm telling you, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Bud is used to being able to hit somebody and making them back down. You're not going to be able to do that with Errol Spence. Plus that jab. One of the things that you could get off on Bud, if you got a good jab, it's always going to cause him problems. A good jab. You seen Kell Brook do it. A good jab always. You seen it with Ugas Will. It's going to cause him problems if you have a good jab. Errol Spence got an excellent jab. Another thing that caused Bud Crawford problems, if you know how to fight inside real good. Bud Crawford can't fight inside. He needs that distance.
Facts.
Errol Spence ain't going to give him that. Errol Spence is excellent at cutting off the ring. I'm telling you. And another thing, Errol Spence punches way harder than Sean Porter. Sean Porter was catching Bud Crawford, but he couldn't hurt him because Sean Porter can't punch. Once he get hit by Errol Spence with some shit like that, it's going to change the whole fucking fight. Trust me and believe me. I'm telling you. Now, like I said, I respect it, but to me, if you ask me, when Errol Spence is at his best, like we see him right now, and we're gonna see in the Ugas fight, I guarantee you are gonna see a completely different Errol Spence than you have seen in the past, 4 years when he fights Ugas. You're gonna see a completely different Errol Spence. And that Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, to me, don't have a chance. He don't got no chance. Because he ain't gonna stop him. He's not gonna stop him.
Real quick, Keith, for you get that super chat. Because I just want to respond to the last super chat that you was elaborating on.
Okay, go ahead.
From Juan. When you talked about the inside fight, and if you look at when Terrence Crawford fights inside, he don't fight inside. What he normally does, he does with everyone. He did it with Jeff Horn, and he did it with Sean Porter, is that he grabs you and ties you up. He holds you and he ties you up because he likes to prove that he's physically stronger than these other guys because everyone thinks he's small. And look what happened when Kell Brook tried to tie up Errol Spence, because Kell Brook tied up the shit out of Sean Porter. That's how he won. He pieced him up and he tied him up when he came inside. Notice how he wasn't able to tie up Errol Spence to do the same thing. That is going to be the downfall for Terrence Crawford because he's not going to just be able to tie Errol Spence up the same way. Errol Spence is a way better inside fighter than that and is going to understand how to go ahead and avoid getting tied up like that. And he's going to trade punches with him. He's going to make the fight real ugly on the inside and wear him out. Go ahead and cook, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And then my man Juan Garza says, give Bud credit for making Porter fight different. Yeah, you got to give him credit. You know, definitely you want to give Bud credit for everything he did in that fight. But I saw a lot of things in that fight, and not just that fight. When you go back to other fights that Bud Crawford has had, when you break down the stylistic matchups, I saw things that, you know what I'm saying, is wide open, and it's going to hurt him in the Errol Spence fight.
Facts. I feel like I'm going to be real honest with you, Keith. When I watched him fight Sean Porter, I gained even more confidence that Errol Spence would beat him based on the things I saw in that fight. Because as you mentioned about having a good jab, one of the main reasons that Terrence Crawford didn't throw a lot of punches, he only landed 20 punches in the first, I think, four rounds, was because in the beginning, Sean Porter was jabbing. When Sean Porter stopped jabbing and put his head down and started doing this, that's when he got caught. That's why the fight was so close. And if you look at it again with Kell Brook may have it's very possible that Kell Brook has the best counter jab as a welterweight. I'm not saying the best jab, but the best counter jab where he is able to time punches and counter over your punches with his jab, and then he'll 1-2 you after he starts getting the rhythm. And same thing happened to Terrence Crawford. And what really made me weary about Terrence Crawford, and being that he's deemed the top fighter pound for pound out of him and Canelo, is the fact that out of the orthodox position, people talk about all these adjustments. He was not able to make an adjustment to stop Kell Brook's jab until he went southpaw to take the angle away. When he tried to outbox him, you got to talk about all these skills he had. he could not take away his jab. He was not able to do it until he went southpaw. And that southpaw angle to take away Earl's jab is not going to work because Earl is also a southpaw. So people had to pay attention to certain things when they watch the film on these fighters, because the truth of the matter is, when a person, Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face, right? Go watch the fight with him and Yordenis Gamboa. When Yordenis Gamboa clipped Bud was in an orthodox stance. When he got hurt and his knees buckled and wobbled and he was hurt, he instinctively turned back into a southpaw. That is where he is most comfortable at. His best offensive tools is out of that southpaw position, and it's a lot of his punches out of that position are very wide. He likes to throw a lot of hooks out of that. Anyone who has a good jab and throws good straight punches down the middle, i.e. Errol Spence, is going to give him a lot of problems.
Yeah. And now let's go. Let's move the focal point. Let's move over and let's talk about some of the things in the press conference yesterday. Now, I hear a lot of people, oh, he ain't mentioned Terrence Crawford's name. He ain't say Terrence Crawford's name. Well, newsflash, his next fight is Ugas. So the man is not going to get up there calling Terrence Crawford's name when he has still got to get past Ugas. You don't disrespect the man in front of you. So what he did is they kept asking him about Terrence Crawford. And he like, hey, we'll see this and that. But what he did is, so I won't disrespect the opponent that I have ahead of me. He said, look, y'all see what the shirt say. Y'all see what the shirt say. The shirt says strap season.
100.
So if you have any common sense, I wouldn't be wearing this shirt if I wasn't going after Terrence Crawford next. So sometimes you say a whole lot by not saying anything. You feel me? Read the shirt. That's what he told him. Read the shirt. You see what shirt I'm wearing. Now stop asking me about that man. You know what it is. You heard me in Dallas a couple weeks ago. I got in the ring and I told you what was going on. I'm not, so y'all need to understand. Y'all know how disrespectful it is for him to be on stage with Ugas, who is a champion himself. They have a unification bout coming up, and you sitting up there talking about, oh yeah, I'm fighting Terrence Crawford next. That's disrespectful. And Errol Spence, he not finna disrespect Ugas like that. Ugas ain't disrespecting him like that. You feel me? That's just disrespect. You don't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get to doing that shit and smelling your own piss like that, that's when you get your ass beat. Like Chris Colbert.
Facts.
Chris Colbert had motherfucking Garcia in front of him. And the whole time, every interview, he was calling out Gary Russell. He was calling out Gary Russell. But he had Hector Garcia in front of him. How did that turn out, Kwame?
How did
that shit turn out?
Motherfucker had his legs up in the air like a chick.
Didn't turn out too good. You know what I'm saying? It didn't turn. So, man, they run, he ain't say Terrence Crawford's name. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The man said, my goal is to be undisputed. Ain't nothing changed. You still see the shirt. And it's dangerous, Kwame, because he's making weight easy now. He ain't struggling. He don't have to go into camp, motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, on his last life. About to die that takes a lot out of a fighter. And he gonna be way stronger. See, remember what we knew Errol Spence for? We knew Errol Spence for a man that had a fucking gas tank out of this world and a man that fucking kept coming nonstop and got stronger over every round. He got stronger and stronger. Kell Brooks said, hey, I could have continued fighting, but shit, he said, Errol Spence was getting stronger. He says he wasn't slowing down. He wasn't getting no weaker. He kept getting stronger. So I wasn't gonna put myself in danger of him ending my career. I decided to, call it a night. And so when we saw him fight Mikey Garcia, even though he won every round, he gassed out down the stretch. He started gassing out down the stretch. He said it, right? When we seen him fight Sean Porter, he still had a gas tank, but it wasn't like that. And then he told you in the Danny Garcia fight, I got tired. I was gassed.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna see that now. You're gonna see the nigga with the shag. All of the things that made all of these fighters duck him, it made these fans make excuses talking about he was on steroids and all of that shit. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh, he's on steroids. Look at his nipples. Well, get ready to say it again. Right? Get ready to say it again, because that nigga with the shag is back. Get to talking about his nipples and get to talking about how he on steroids, making up lies again. And I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford don't want to fight him, but what I am saying is I guarantee you they ain't as eager as they was.
Facts.
They not as eager as they was. And my man A1 Hoop Zone, Emmanuel H in the building. And make sure that y'all sub to A1 Hoop Zone. The playoffs is coming up right around the corner. Right around the corner. And he got all of the news, everything, right? He gonna keep you updated with everything that's going on. Great channel. And great live streams too when he do his live streams. He says, y'all got to chill out with this. He says, y'all making too much sense. It's gonna, he says, it's gonna go. He says, y'all making too much sense. It's gonna go ever. Okay, it's a typo. That's what I'm like, hold on. He says it's gonna go over their head. He says, hashtag big fish, man down, strap season. Mark, walk him down. He said, Mr. Walk him down, Mr. Get him up out of there. Right. Real talk. Mr. Walk him down. Mr. Get him up out of there. Yeah, it's going to go over their head. You know what I'm saying? But come April the 9th, what you're going to hear is a whole bunch of excuses. You're going to hear that Ugas was never shit. You're going to hear all of that. My man Zenith 360 off in that super chat once again coming through. He said, Spence is Mr. Fundamental. He's not flashy, so it makes people think he isn't a skill. Kind of like, he said, kind of like Ward. He said he can outbox long range and inside, can pressure and be defensively responsible. Real talk. He got all the fundamentals. And see, the thing is Terrence Crawford is the exact opposite. He's not fundamentally sound, but he's athletic. Right? He's a lot more athletic. I'm going to keep it 100. If you talk about offensively, right, just strictly offense, I would get an edge to Terrence Crawford. But overall, he not fucking with Spence as a fighter overall. And you see when you got two of the best fighters in there and you got a fighter that's like, let's say, a Tim Duncan, that's fundamentally sound, that's very, very good in every area. And then you got a fighter that's really not fundamental, but he's very athletic, got power, How does that shit usually turn out? The fundament, you see when Roy Jones, right? When Roy Jones fought Bernard Hopkins, when he didn't have telling you, you see Bernard Hopkins, how long he was able to, still beat champions and still dominate in the sport of boxing because of his fundamental skills. Telling you. And Errol, he's athletic too. But he's more fundamentally sound. I'm telling y'all, my man Blue Blood Sports TV in the building. He says he's not the same guy in the orthodox stand. He says in the orthodox stance as he used to be, which is very concerning to me for him with Errol. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't move. He doesn't have the legs like he did. I don't think it has nothing to do with him getting older. I think it has more so with him going up in weight and putting on weight, right? He's stronger, but he's not as fast as he was, with his movement, his legs. He don't use his legs like that no more. Everybody, when they try to break down this fight, they go back to the Terrence Crawford at 135. The Terrence Crawford when, in his earlier fights at 140. He don't move like that no more.
Facts.
And with that being said, that's bad. Like Blue Blood said, that's concerning when you get in the ring with Errol Spence. Yeah, he has footworks and he gives subtle movement, but he don't move around the ring like he used to. He don't fight like that no more. So a lot of these dudes, they still dreaming like he's not that fighter no more. He's more of a that's why he started getting a lot of knockouts. Because now he gonna sit down and he gonna, he gonna chunk them on you.
Yep.
He didn't really do that at 135. He wasn't no knockout artist like that at 135. And he wasn't even like that at 140 until he got kind of towards the end of, his 140-pound career. If he was that fighter, he would have been knocking out Ricky Barnes and fighters like that. In what's the white fighter that Adrian Broner fought?
It was John Molina, but he stopped him.
Did he stop John?
Yeah. He definitely stopped him. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely stopped
before
him.
He went to distance with John.
Nah. He stopped him.
But yeah, I just, like I said, I like Bud. I like Bud in the ring as a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. But the styles, I just think that him and Errol Spence is a bad stylistic matchup, bro. I really do.
But the matchup is what makes it such a great fight because they have such different styles, and to see the style clash is what will make it exciting. I'm just wondering how he's gonna fare when someone else that he's fighting is just as athletic as him. Is a different type of athletic, but because Errol's athletic too, he's strong. When he has think about what Danny Garcia said when he fought Errol Spence. He said it was like he felt his presence on top of him the whole time, like he was 2 times stronger than these other guys. So it wasn't just about like punching power with Keith Thurman. It's about that, and it's about how he imposes his not just his will, but just also his stature on you as a fighter. After a while, like you said, when you got someone who fundamentally sound like that, and they're just almost like a robot, and it's constant. It's constant. That's a mental wear and tear on a fighter having to deal with that all fight. So we gonna see, but we also have to appreciate what we're getting ready to see with the fight with Ugas. This is a huge fight, man. It's for 3 belts. This a 3 belt fight. It's a huge fight. Yordenis Ugas is coming off the biggest win in his career, beating a legend. His confidence is sky high. He's training like a motherfucker. I watch his training clips. People keep saying, "Oh, I'm tired of seeing Ugas. He's in the camera." Well, he deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But don't think Ugas ain't being a gym rat either. Just because when you see him in the camera, it's at a boxing interview or something. It's at a fight. You ain't seeing him in the camera like Adrian Broner, like he at a club or something. He's at a boxing event. What is he supposed to do? But this guy's out there. He's putting in the work. He in his heart believes he could beat Errol Spence. I don't see any fear. And that's what makes for great fights is that both fighters believe that they could win. They're going in there. They're both going in there to win. Ugas is not going in there to lay down at all.
Right.
Which is going to make it a great fight. But I just think like Earl right now is in a place where he's being very reflective. And also shout out to the champ. Today's his birthday too. But he's in a place right now where he's a lot more reflective. Like he said, when your why is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? His why for what he's doing is just bigger than himself. he has a mission and a goal. Another great thing is, he finally got his first son. His son is in the gym with him, holding mitts, trying to jump rope. You know how inspiring and how much purpose that gives a fighter or just a father, um, to be able to do that and set an example. So, man, we people really need to appreciate what Earl Spence has done in his career with, because everything you talk about with the torn retina, the car accident, being undisciplined out the ring, that's just part of his story, and it's about how you bounce back from stuff. Tells about how you a true champion. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you deal with adversity and how you come through the adversity. Because tell me how many fighters anybody knows that could have been killed in some type of life threatening situation, right? And then comes back and don't even fight a tune-up fight. But then you look at the man and say he's scared of somebody. That's not the mentality of somebody who's scared at all. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia was known for being a pretty big puncher. If you was effed up from a car accident and Danny Garcia touched your chin, you could have some real problems. So you could go take a tune-up. I mean, look at Keith Thurman. Prime example. Keith Thurman had an elbow injury, had maintenance, had some bone spurs and metals and cartilage taken out his elbow, sat out for 2 years, 22 months, came back and said, "This is a get back year for me." It's a mentality. I'm not fighting no top guys right now. I need tune-ups. I need Josecito Lopez, who you almost lost to, right? And you can't turn down a Manny Pacquiao fight because boxing is like, hey, you turned it down, you may never get it again. And then you held up the welterweight division. Al Heyman might put your ass on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? So he had to take the Manny Pacquiao fight. But then you look at a guy like Spence who goes through all these things. He comes out of a car accident. He fights a Danny Garcia. He comes off a torn retina. He's fighting a unification fight with the guy who just beat Manny Pacquiao. People got to give him his respect. Win, lose, or draw in any fight, Ugas or Terrence Crawford, you have to respect him as a true warrior in the sport of boxing, point blank, period.
Yeah, man. Ugas, man, and like I said, we can't overlook Ugas. I think it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. Ugas is always gonna fight. But see, the thing is Ugas is gonna fight fire with fire, just like Errol Spence said, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's gonna be an exciting ass fight. This is gonna be an exciting ass fight. And this is gonna tell us, right? This is the best fight to tell us and show us how much of that nigga with the Shag is back.
Facts.
Right. This is the fight. Because Ugas ain't gonna back down. Ugas ain't gonna back down. He's not. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen how Ugas fight. He gonna fight fire with fire. If Errol dig down to the body, Ugas gonna dig right back down to the body along with him. That's how he fight. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait. So we definitely don't want to look over Ugas because Ugas is a hell of a fighter. And Ugas is hungry. You heard Ugas say, man, I've been wanting to fight Errol Spence for 4 years. Right. Y'all remember when everybody was saying that Errol Spence is ducking Ugas? Oh, he ducking Yordenis Ugas. He's scared. He's scared of Ugas. Remember when he fought Ocampo? When he fought Ocampo, they said he fighting Ocampo, he ducking Ugas. He ducking Ugas. That was the word around the boxing street for the longest time. That he was afraid of Ugas, that he was ducking Ugas.
Facts.
Now, right, the same ones that were saying that, now they're trying to act like Ugas ain't shit.
That's why I said, Key,
that's funny, bro.
Key, and that's why I say, it's always an honor and pleasure talking with you and being on the show because you really understand timelines. You understand because that is exactly what happened at that time. Ugas had just stopped Ray Robinson. and everyone was saying that this was Spence's Mando, and he was scared, and he fought Ocampo and nobody, and then they were trying to get him to fight Ugas after the Ocampo fight, and then he fought Mikey. So the same people who said all that now are the same people who are now going to try to discredit Ugas after he take this motherfucking man down ass whooping.
Right, right. You dig what I'm saying? They always do that. It is funny, but we remember. We didn't
I
forget.
remember.
We remember. Tiffany Love, salute to you, Queen. Salute.
Salute.
Yeah, so we remember. You feel me? It's funny to me, dog. Like real talk, it's funny. It's funny how they do, but we always remember. I don't forget. You feel me? It's very few things when it come to this boxing that I forget. Now I might forget your name for a split second, but events I do not forget. And man, like I said, but in Errol Spence, if they ever do fight, hopefully that we do get it this year. If they do fight, I'm not saying that Errol Spence is going to run through Bud Crawford. It's going to be a hell of a fight. But when I break the fight down, I got to get an edge to Errol Spence, especially when he on his A game like this. I never seen, like, even when he was that nigga with the Shag before, it's nobody in the welterweight division that I looked at and was like, oh, man, that's a dangerous fight for Errol Spence. Thanks. Now, the fighter that I look at now that I'm like, okay, that's a dangerous fight. It ain't Terrence Crawford. And I'm just being honest. It's Jerron Boots Ennis.
Facts.
Because I've studied Jerron Boots Ennis. And that young man is a problem. Like the shit that he does offensively is different.
Facts.
Like the shit that Jerron Boots. So to me, the best fight at 147 is Errol Spence and Jerron Boots Ennis. Just saying. You know what I mean? You can feel how you want to feel about it. To me, that's the best fight. That's the most dangerous fight because you got a young, hungry guy that you know that can do, but we haven't really seen him put through the fire yet. And so when you got a fighter that has a question mark like that, and you really don't know everything about him, that's scary.
Facts.
Because you're like, oh, well, does he have a chin? You get in there and you hit him with your best fucking shot, and he's still coming forward. Now it's like, oh shit, he do got a chin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he doing crazy because the way that he throw his punches from all different angles and is fucking precise and accurate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see nobody else doing that shit in the welterweight division. Bud Crawford ain't accurate and precise like that from all them different angles like Jerron Boots Ennis be throwing. So it's going to take somebody that's strong, that's a dog, and that's very fundamental to beat Jerron Boots Ennis. It really is, like Errol Spence. It's going to take an Errol Spence to beat him. You get him and Terrence Crawford in the ring together, and they both hella athletic. But who's more athletic? Who's stronger? Who more powerful? Who's a better switch hitter? I'm gonna leave that one alone before they get to crying, though, Kwame.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And if you say that Jerron, well, we don't know if Jerron Boots Ennis got a chin. Well, we know that Bud Crawford. I'm not gonna say that he chinny, but he ain't got the best chin. So, you know.
And as people say, he starts out slow in the beginning and he figures you out. And I'm just not too sure if Jerron Boots Ennis lands a shot like Mean Machine landed on him, that is going to be the same story for Terrence Crawford, you know. So another thing, I'm glad you brought that up too, Key.
And let me read these super chats after you get your. Go ahead.
You know, I remember when Sean Porter, the first time Sean Porter was ranked number 1 in the WBO, and there was a whole lot of Bob Arum talking about money and splits that they like to blame on everyone else, but that's his pattern. The fight wasn't made, and what happened? The WBO slid Sean Porter out of the number 1 spot, and who did they replace him with? Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz had beat his stablemate, Crawford stablemate, Maurice Hooker, right? And they were talking about making a fight, and they tried to make that fight, but Golden Boy said that ain't the direction they wanted to go in because they wanted the old heads, him and Spence and them, to X each other out so they could have a fight somewhere down the line with like a Boots Ennis when maybe both of them had a belt and they could try to cash in or cash out. I think it's very interesting that they went to see what they could make with uh Virgil Ortiz because they couldn't get an opponent. But now that Jerron Boots Ennis, he now has a fight, but when he didn't have a fight, they never explored that option. I wonder why.
Yeah, you
They
know
never
why.
even said they never even said Boots's name. I wonder why.
Yeah, we know why, bro. We definitely know why. We definitely know why. Zenith 360 in that super chat once again coming through. He says, also remember Ugas was signed to fight last year. Him and Ismail Salas have been working on a game plan for Spence for a while. Add Spence layoff and coming back to the Southpaw Killer, it's dangerous. Well, I'm gonna say this, right? They've been working on that other nigga. You dig? They wasn't working for the nigga with the Shag. You see what I'm saying? Whatever they was working on, they gonna get a whole different Errol Spence. I'm saying they better been working on that Errol Spence that was in the ring with Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook. If they working on anything, they better be working on that Errol Spence. But whatever they working on, like I said, it's gonna be a real good, exciting fight. But yeah, that's about it because I'm telling you, if anybody want to put their money on Ugas, holler at me and let me know. My man Abdul Anwar says, just spread love. I enjoy the shows and how real you keep it, bro. I like Boots. Roy Jones, like he says, Roy Jones, like. However, I need to see him go through adversity. Yeah, man. And I appreciate you, man, coming through showing love. Well, I know that this opponent ain't no top level fighter, right? But he showed me that Boots had. Hold on. He showed me that Boots had a lot of dog in him. What was the Brazil, the African Brazilian looking dude that Boots? Remember he caught him with that step back uppercut.
Uppercut. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He never stopped.
Abreu. What's his name? Abreu. When he fought Abreu was hella rough. Remember when he hit Boots in his nuts and shit. Remember he came down and hit Boots in his nuts as hard as he could. Dude was rough. He was a dirty fighter, and he was trying to rough Boots up. And that showed me, I was like, okay, I want to see how Boots reacts to this shit. And Boots came out like, come on, let's go then. Right? It knocked him smooth the fuck out. And Abreu had never been knocked out before. And right there, I said, oh, yeah, this kid got a lot of dog in him. You ain't going to bully this kid. You know what I'm saying? And at that point in most fighters' career, when they that young, they get in there with a fighter like that, they have problems. Because a fighter that's going to be rough and bully you and do dirty shit, it could throw them off their game. Didn't do that with Boots. It just made him more pissed off.
I.e. Lomachenko and Salido.
Right. Exactly. So he got dog in him. So, like I said, as far as do I ever think that we'll ever see Terrence Crawford and Boots in the ring? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think that we got a much better chance to see. I think that we got a much better chance to see Errol Spence and Boots in the ring at 154. I don't think that we'll ever see Errol Spence and Boots in the ring at 147 pounds.
Right. I don't think so either.
So those are fights down the line, but Boots is definitely he's a problem.
I got a question for you, Key. Hypothetically, right? If Boots is going for the title eliminator,
what the fuck wrong with this dude right here? My bad. Hey, that's comical. That's comical.
Yeah,
and then he talk about watch. Yeah, all right.
Right. I just kind of lost my train of thought. Okay, if Boots is fighting for the IBF title eliminator, right? Which we know the IBF is very strict when it comes to that stuff. So there's two scenarios, right? Spence will either have to fight Boots, which I think isn't going to happen. They're going to try to make the Terrence Crawford fight and have him move up. He said he had two fights. If he wins the fight and moves up, his belt is now vacated, right? If hypothetically, if Terrence Crawford wins the fight, then he gets Errol Spence's IBF belt, and then he has to fight Boots. Or is he going to move up to 154?
Terrence Crawford ain't gonna fight Boots. You that's why because he's seeing it's kind of like the walls is closing in, right? And now he's talking about going to 154. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna fight. And as far as Errol Spence, I think that Errol Spence, because he's been saying it for like he told me this shit back in 2018, 2019, right? I'm talking about the beginning of 2019. He told me like, hey. You know, I'm looking for Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? When was this? Yeah, it was 2019, I believe. I'm Keith Thurman. If I can't get, you know what I'm saying? I want Bud Crawford. And he said, hey, after that, I want to move up. He been talking about moving up for 3 years now. So if he gonna fight Ugas, once he beat Ugas, it's either Bud Crawford or he gonna move up. Because by that time, Jermell Charlo would have either won or lost against Brian Castano, and he gonna move up. You feel me? So man, it's just like, yeah, bro. You dig what I'm saying? I don't see neither one of those fights happening. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Boots, by the time that Errol Spence has beat Ugas, and then Terrence Crawford and him, right there on the horizon, Boots will be the mandatory then. But unification, undisputed trumps mandatory.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Just like for all the people that believe Terrence Crawford is gonna win, if he does beat Errol Spence, is he gonna move up to 154? Or is he gonna stay? Is he gonna stay at 147? Because if he does, he's gonna have to fight. He's gonna have to face Boots, or he's gonna have to dump the IBF strap.
You don't want no part of Boots, bro. I'm telling you, I already can see it. I can see they don't want no parts of Boots, bro. They really don't. You know what I'm saying? But man, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. We've been on here for over 2 hours and a half. Everybody, if y'all ain't hit the like button, smash on the like button. Smash on the like button. Another great show. I appreciate my man Kwame coming on here talking about the nigga with the shag. And happy birthday to Errol Spence. What he 31, 32 today? 32. You know what I'm saying? Turning 32. Happy birthday. And yeah, man, I can't wait. We got April is finna be lit. The next couple months of boxing is finna be crazy, y'all. Nothing but good things going on. And you know, hey, let's pray for the world, because the fucked up shit is what's going on in the world. You feel me? Monica, salute. And so yeah, man, let me get your last words, Kwame.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely salute to the chat. You guys was really supportive today. Keep sending those super chats into Keon, because it ain't free to do what we do when we had these channels. So we definitely we definitely appreciate it. And also when you have good content, that's a plus on top of it. Salute to the host of the show. Key, when Key first started, I was co-hosting with him. I remember that off my phone.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I'm saying? And the channel has grown so much, man. And I so appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you built here, man. And salute to you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that participated in the chat that came through earlier when we had to call in, everybody that called in, everybody that supported the channel, you know, in the super chats. I appreciate everybody. And we will be back tomorrow, same place, same time. different topic. We got some fights this weekend we got to cook on. And yeah, salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And we gone, y'all.
Peace.